Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, we're back at it. We're actually ready to dive into something actually a little bit new today for the channel, something slightly new for the channel. But before we dive into that, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patrons, my good friend Patrick B, DCG MD, so Dr. DCG, that is, Travis W, Caleb N, Donald A, Chip A, and Katie S. So Patrick, Dr. DCG, Travis, Caleb, Donald, Chip, and Katie. Welcome all to the Bourbon family, as we call it, the Bourbon Judge family. As well as I should say thank you for all my other patrons as well. I just got back. Actually, we just did, myself and 10 patrons, we did a barrel pick over at JT Mellick, and we had a blast. We honestly had a blast. I mean, their whiskey was amazing. The people there, the whole JT Mellick crew, amazing, and it was really cool to hang out with some patrons, and we had a lot of fun. So today I want to go ahead and introduce almost kind of like a new concept for my channel, kind of comparing and contrasting two different whiskeys that live in the same ballpark, but when you think about them, one's highly allocated, one's not. So it's kind of kind of going through, if you will, and just seeing whether or not is the hype worth the extra amount of money it takes, as well as all the hunting, to get like a highly allocated bottle. So I'll do these every few weeks, and I'll change it up, right? Sometimes I'll do them blind, sometimes I'll do them just side by side. For today's purpose, to kind of kick it off, I'm just going to go ahead and do them side by side. So we have 13th Colony, the Southern Rye whiskey out of Americus, Georgia, going against Buffalo Trace's finest, E.H. Taylor Single Barrel Straight Rye. So let's kind of go through both of these. I've already poured them so they can kind of open up. But the main thing is, again, when I wanted to start this out as kind of like a way to say, hey, if you're looking at two different ryes that you might be interested in, one highly allocated, one not highly allocated, does it make sense to spend all the extra money and hunt for the time, effort, as well as, most important, the cha-ching, the cash, if you will, and buying this whiskey, right? So we'll see. I'll give you a fair judgment at the end to say which one's better in my opinion. Cool? All right. So let's kind of start about the price point. So you have a $45 bottle that you can get, for the most part. I mean, their distribution is actually growing, right? So you can get 13th Colony, their Southern Rye whiskey, for about $45. You can find it in about 10 or 15 states now. But the cool thing is, because a lot of people will say, well, Judge, I can't find 13th Colony Rye whiskey by me. You can go online. There's a lot of really great stores out there, online retailers. You got Shared Pour. You have Bourbon Outfitters. I think even Sealbox might carry them as well. So you don't really have to hunt for it. You can actually go online. And odds are, if you really want to try it, it's still going to be cheaper than buying that one. But hey, we're going to see about the quality of the whiskey, which one's better. But again, $45, not highly allocated, comes in at exactly, I think this is 95 proof, right? Yep, 95 proof. And then you have Buffalo Trace E.H. Taylor Straight Rye Whiskey. So now this one comes in, because it is bottled in bond, obviously at 100 proof on the dot. MSRP is about $75, $80. But odds are, when you find an E.H. Taylor Straight Rye, you're probably finding it for like $175, maybe even $250. I've even seen this marked up to $300 because stores are just going insane with their secondary pricing as a whole. So again, MSRP is about $75, but most times when you find it, it's $175, if not even $200 or north of $200. So that's a key difference, right? And that's what this is all about. Is it worth my extra time and effort, as well as the extra cash to buy this one? All right, let's go ahead and start this out. Let's dive into these two. So they're both ryes, obviously. We don't have the exact age of the 13th Colony, but it's said to be anywhere from like that 3 to 5 year range. And obviously this is bottled in bond, so it has to be aged at least 4 years. They live in the same proof point, 95 versus 100, so they're very similar from that standpoint. We're gonna start with 13th Colony first. All right. So we got a Georgia whiskey. So I know everyone loves, you think of 13th Colony, everyone goes to, like, of course, their double oak. But I would tell you, most of their products are actually very solid. The double oak, of course, is like the creme de la creme, like the best product that they make as a whole. But I will say, their standard bourbon and rye are both good, really good products. So what I like about the nose here, it's a great blend of like a traditional peppery kind of a nose, but because of all that Georgia heat, it's definitely intensified with like the oak. You get a good blend of like pepper blended with like some oak, some chocolate notes as well. The nose on this is actually quite delightful, honestly. It really is. 95 proof, $45 bottle. All right, easily available in stores and online. But can it beat this bad boy over here? We shall see. Here we go. Cheers, everybody. Wow. That's nice. That's really nice. It's almost like it's and this is not right. It almost tastes like a double oaked rye in a way. It kind of reminds me of like a because there's so much oak in not only in the nose but then also in the palate as well. At 95 proof, it actually sips a little bit hotter. I would say it sips closer to like maybe 100 or even 105. I love how the nose and the palate all comes together perfect. You have wonderful notes of like chocolate, the pepper, and then the oak, and then the caramel notes. It all comes through from the nose into the palate all the way to the end of the palate. That is an exceptional pour for a $45 product. That's crazy. 45 bucks. And again, it sips like it's either 100 or 105 proof. Definitely north of what it really is, which is 95. I got to get a little bit more. But I do love the fact that even through all that chocolate, all the oak and caramel, you still get that pepper note. So still reminds you, hey, I'm still a rye. I'm still a rye. I like that though, but that is a bourbon drinker's rye for sure. All right, now we have the big boy. E.H. Taylor Rye, 100 proof, bottled and bond, coming from Buffalo Trace. So this is a highly sought after bottle. I mean, some people just love highly allocated whiskey, but the question is it truly worth it? We'll see. $75, 80 bucks. MSRP, but again, most times when you find it, it's a $200 price point, unfortunately, because of the markup. All right, real quick, before I jump into this one, 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts between these two. And last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right, here we go. So this is a lot more... Okay, I like that. That's nice though. I can't lie. That's pretty nice. This is a lot more a traditional rye, a good blend of pepper, smidge of mint, more like apple kind of notes. It's more of a traditional rye nose. A lot more mint, a lot more pepper, some apple notes, some caramel notes. Very nice. Traditional rye nose as a whole. All right, here we go. E.H. Taylor, Buffalo Trace. Cheers, everybody. That's good too. Can't lie. That's pretty solid. That's very nice. What's cool about this one is that when you think of like a traditional rye, this is much more of a quintessential traditional rye. A lot more mint, a lot more pepper, a smidge of like, a lot of times like a really good rye will have like almost like some baking spices notes in there as well. Like some baking spices, some fruit notes, more of like an apple kind of a note. And then also with the caramel kind of all blended in very well. This is a quintessential rye where this is a little bit sweeter, almost more of, it appears to be, it tastes more like a double oak kind of a rye, if you will, where this one is more of a traditional rye. Oh man, both really good though. Very nice. All right, so we're going to do 2 judgments going forward. Number 1, which one's better? But then number 2, if this one's better, is it worth the extra price? All right, here we go. Woo, the courtroom is delivering some verdicts today, boy. All right, So question number 1, Judge, which one is better between the two? For me, flat out, me personally, I'm going toward 13th Colony. I really am. I just think while this is more of a traditional rye, this is $45. And to me, this one, it holds its own. I love the fact that it has a ton of like oak in there as well. So at 45 bucks, I'm buying this all day long versus paying this one at least 75 to 80 bucks. So at least $30 more. Plus it's marked up probably an extra $100 on top of that. So 45 versus 175 in most cases. Yeah, I'm saving 130 bucks and I'm going to hit the gavel again. I'm buying this one all day long. And the second judgment, this is definitely not worth $200. It's an exceptional, great traditional rye whiskey. If it was $75, sure, it's worth $75, but it's definitely not worth the markup. And honestly, it's not better than that one. It really isn't. Save yourself some money, folks. Stop all the hunting. Go online, or if you can get it in the store, buy this 13th Colony for $45. You can thank me later. Until the next time, my friends, peace, cheers, and most important, salute. Take care.